Ojha and Professor Siddiqui's paper, Progress in Indian Geomorphology, as well as the publication of 1983 by Professor K.R. Dixit, who was the first 2 times president of IGI, the first president of IGI. Then from that document, we see that Indian geomorphology, this started to work from the Reynolds document. And it was the Major Reynolds, he was, at that time, he was a British regime, was there in India. And this Reynolds document was published in 1781. That may be considered as the foundation stone of physical geography in India. After that, during this 19th century, this was in 18th century. So in 19th century, geologists took over the charge to promote this geomorphological as well as geological researches in India. But that time there was no geography department, there was no bridge between geology and geography. So the geomorphology exists between this geology and geography. So many of the geologists, they worked on Indian geomorphology and they promoted this Indian geomorphology during this 19th century. Among them, 2 names we can recall, of course, number 1, Oldham, and number 2, Ferguson. So apart from that, there were many geologists who did many works starting from the Himalayan glacier till the coastal belt. So there was hardly any geographer, geomorphologists during this 19th century. But 20th century beginning, this was the initiation of geography as well as geomorphology in India. I told you that geomorphology lies between the boundary zone between geology and geography. And the first paper, I think, on physical geography from geography discipline, published by Professor Muthuswamy from South India on Coimbatore. I think it is, yes, it is in Coimbatore. And after that, the first delete thesis was done by Professor S.P. Chatterjee. And when Professor S.P. Chatterjee did his delete thesis under Professor Emmanuel de Martine in the University of Paris, these big geographers from India, they did their PhD and delete with Emmanuel de Martine. One is Professor S.P. Chatterjee, and the other one is Professor R.N. Dubey from Allahabad University. Although he belongs to economic geography and Professor S.P. Chatterjee belongs to physical geography. And based on his work, he gave the name of the state where I stay now, Meghalaya. And the title of his thesis was La Plateau de Meghalaya. So he initiated the name of the state also. After that, if you ask that why physical geography, geomorphology is concentrated, mostly in the eastern part of India was concentrated, but now it has spread throughout India. It may be, it is my guess, it may be due to the headquarters of the Geological Survey of India was till today it is in Kolkata, and many people used to work from this place. This is the initial point, and from their work, many of the geographers as well as the geologists, they were encouraged to do different types of geomorphological researches in India. So it was initiated in 1930. The first paper I'll tell you, Physical Geography. It was published by Muthuswamy in 1931. After that, the delete thesis of Professor S.P. Chatterjee was in La Plateau de Meghalaya. This was the first recorded papers in India in geomorphology. After that, many geomorphologists came. So when they were working on geomorphology, that time throughout the world, the cyclic concept was going on. The cyclic concept was going on, but they did not belong to that cyclic concept. Not even W.M. Davis, not even to Walter Payne, not to anybody. They started to work from the field. That time, although process geomorphology has not started, but they started to work on this. since 1960s, this is one of the golden period in Indian geomorphology. Many geomorphologists came from eastern part of India, from the western part of India, from northern part of India, as well as from this central part of India. So geomorphology started to this many professors, many scientists, they were encouraged to do geomorphological research in different parts of India. And they did their work related to their native fields, starting from the Himalayan glaciers, I told you, to the western deserts, to the fluvial geomorphology, to the coastal geomorphology, as well as to the gully, ravine, and all these badland topography, all these parts. So Indian geomorphology has started to be rich since 1960s. After that, we did never look back. You know, throughout the world, this quantification or the process geomorphology started from 1940s, I think. The paper, the book was published by R.A. Bagnold. It was the physics of sand and blown desert dunes. It was in 1941 or 42. And after that, Houghton came in the field. They tried to show how to do work on the changing nature of this topography on the basis of different processes. And this process geomorphology has dominated, and it replaced the cyclic concept. So one of the authors, they are writing that this demise of the cycle of erosion during 1940s, after that process geomorphology dominated, and many of the Indian geomorphologists, they started to do their work on process geomorphology, although it is one of the most difficult tasks. After that, when quantification started in geomorphology, Indian geomorphologists also, they did many works on quantification using morphometric techniques, as well as the quantification of different types of landforms, their movements, their changes, all these things Indians also started to do. But after that, again, quantification, this the phase has gone, and contemporary geomorphology has started to begin. And this contemporary geomorphology, it is mostly due to or mostly related to the anthropogenic as well as the environmental problems, and several branches have come up nowadays during this contemporary phase. And the Indian geomorphologists are also working with this present trend of geomorphology. So from the very beginning, I did not mention any name because it would take a long time. So all the phases, cyclic phase, very few people worked on this issue, because although it was given this new backbone to the geomorphological research, but after that process, quantification, and contemporary phases, the Indian geomorphologists, they have involved in all types of researches. Now, after that, during this recent era, in 1997, this Indian Institute of Geomorphology was formed, and it was based in the Department of Geography, University of Allahabad. So, why this initiative they got? So, before that, they went to different international conferences. Firstly, in Bologna. Before that, it was in this England, and they got the inspiration to form this geomorphology group in India. So Professor Savindra Singh from the Allahabad University. Anil Kumar ji, thoda mute kijiye. So Professor Savindra Singh took the leadership to form this group based in Allahabad, and many geomorphologists from different parts of the country, they joined together, they joined hand with him. From northern part, M.N. Kaul, from western part, Professor H.S. Sharma, from western part, sorry, this is northwestern part, western part, Professor S.R. Jog, Professor B.S. Kale, Professor Dikshit, and from eastern part, Professor M.K. Bandopadhyay, S. Mukhopadhyay, then Professor S.R. Basu, and many other geomorphologists, they joined their hand together to form this group in 1987. And this is the 33rd year. Now, from 2001, this when this geomorphologists from India, this especially the officials of the IGI came to know that there is also an international group, then they nominated Professor V.C. Jha as the national delegate to the Tokyo conference to IAG, International Association of Geomorphology. And he was also as the co-opted member in the International Association of Geomorphology. And after that, in 2004, when I visited also this Tokyo conference. And from that time, this Professor Mauro Soldati from this University of Modena, Professor Lotse Denis from University of Pécs, Hungary, then Irasima Alcantara Ayla from Mexico. So all these friends I got from this international body. And then I proposed to Lotse that you are the secretary, can we organize an event in India from IGI? So they were very happy, and they confirmed that if we can organize, they would come to India. So in 2004, the first IAG activity started in India. It was the intensive workshop in landslides on Sikkim and Darjeeling Himalayas. The symposium took place in the University of Kolkata, Department of Geography. And after that, there was intensive field visit both in Sikkim and Darjeeling Himalayas. And during that period, Professor Mauro Soldati was also present. Then Professor Lotse Denis and the Hungarian Science Academy scientists, they were also present here. And Professor Leszek Starkel, he was our field guide, and we are very happy that time that we could honor Professor Leszek Starkel in the Department of Geography, Kolkata University. And at this stage, he was so active that when we went to field, immediately after arriving in the Himalayan part, he started to come out to the field area. So after organizing this, it was a successful event. We got many helps from the IGI. Professor Esad Jog was the president at that time. He also came to participate this and delivered his presidential address in the symposium also. So it was a successful event. After that, we never looked back. Then IGI, when I appealed to IGI, and I am grateful to IGI officials, especially Professor Sarindra Singh, to nominate me as the national delegate and the international correspondent secretary since that period. Just very briefly, I will tell you, after that I will finish because 2 minutes time I have left. So when I told this one, there was what I will say opinion among the seniors, some of the seniors, not all. The two things you cannot disclose before happening. One is you are going to abroad, and number two, you are going to marry. So I thought that these two concepts are wrong. So when I took the charge, then I started to initiate with the help of these IGI officials to promote this International Association of Geomorphological Activities among all the colleagues and among all the youngsters of the country, so that Indian geomorphology can come in the international platform. And I am thankful to the previous colleagues of the IGI, EC colleagues of the IGI and the present. And the present IGI is also similarly going on in a vibrating way, and they are doing very good works. And I am grateful to the previous and the present, and will be grateful to the future IGI executive members also for giving this opportunity. After that, when I went to Zaragoza, Spain, then only 9 geomorphologists were present from India. After that, it became 26 in Australia, Melbourne. After that, it was about 70, it is about 36 or 37 in Paris, and after that 173 in India. So every year, this number of geomorphologists, including young geomorphologists, are increasing in this international platform. So I am very happy to inform you that Indian geomorphology has got an international boost up and international backup and the youngsters will be far more motivated to work in geomorphological field. But at the same time, I have a doubt in some of the present generation researchers that one of the senior geomorphologists was saying that many of the geomorphologists, they do work on the basis of geospatial technology and hardly they go to field. So I would request, I would suggest all the youngsters that you cannot do any geomorphological research on the basis of geospatial technology, RSGIS. You should go to field because this is an open year subject. So I hope that maximum number of participants from India will attend our Coimbra conference in the next year in 2022. And this again, you are the future of our country and you will boost up your future generation in India. So in these few words, I once again thank you, the organizing committee, the IGI, and all the dignitaries to give me this opportunity to speak a few words. Thank you very much.